everyone. Welcome to Headlines of the Day. This is 19th of February 2022 and we are here yet again with some of the major articles from the Hindu newspaper. Let's begin with today's edition with the very first article on page number 1 from GS2 Polity and Governance. So this article says that Supreme Court tells UP government to return the assets that were seized after the protest. In this article, you have to take the key points as the key provisions of Citizenship Amendment Act, objectives, associated concerns with CAA, and what is the way forward. Okay, moving further on page number 1 itself, you'll find an article from GS2 International Relations that talks about India and UAE to sign a trade pact today. So this article is really important because it is the first ever free trade agreement between the two countries, India and the United Arab Emirates. What are the key points from this article? Significance of signing the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement with the United Arab Emirates. What are India's expectations and expected profits from this FTA? You also have to know about the present status of bilateral relations between India and the United Arab Emirates. Let's move on. On page number 5, you'll find an article from GS2 Polity and Governance. It is about the Krishna water dispute. So in this, the Supreme Court has mediated for resolving the Krishna water dispute between Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Now, Krishna water dispute has been in news for a long time now. In this article, you have to take the key points: background of Krishna water dispute, the states involved, constitutional provisions related to the interstate water dispute, facts about Krishna River and the way forward. Okay, moving further on page number 5, you'll find an article from Geography that is also relating to interlinking of Godavari and Kaveri. So some of the key points that you have to take from this article are: know about the proposal of interlinking of Godavari and Kaveri rivers, the states involved, what are the advantages of interlinking of rivers, what are the issues or challenges in the interlinking of rivers, and what lies ahead. Let's talk about an article from Environment GS3 on page number 5 itself. It talks about, so the article says, Great Backyard Bird Count begins in Mysore. In this article, you have to read about the Great Backyard Bird Count, its objectives. In this article, there is also a mention of a lake known as Kukarhalli Lake. So 62 species are identified at the Kukarhalli Lake. Now this is important because it is a global event which is held for 4 days across the world from February 18 to 21. Moving on page number 6, you'll find an article from GS3 Internal Security. In the editorial section, so Mr. Tharoor mentions in this article that on refugee issues, India ought to be among the most admired nations. What are the key points? You have to know about the recent proposal for the enactment of refugee and asylum law and why there is a need for it. Further, India's policy on refugee management and the conventions and protocol on refugee protection, challenges associated with India's refugee policy and the way forward. Let's move on. On page number 6, you'll find an article from GS2 Education section that talks about revisit the terms of use for this scholastic ABC. What are the key points from this article? What is the Academic Bank of Credits, ABC? How does it work? Significance, challenges associated with it, and what further needs to be done in this context. Alright, moving further on page number 7, there's an article from GS2 Polity and Governance. Headscarf and a social fabric in tatters. So as from the headline, you can see that this is about the recent hijab controversy. In this article, you have to take the key points. What is the controversy over disallowing girls in hijabs in the classroom? What is the stake of the government? How have the courts ruled on the issue of hijab and what the constitution has to speak about the religious freedom? Alright, moving further, on page number 8, you'll find an article from GS2 International Relations that says Russia welcomes India's stand on Eastern Ukraine situation. India has stated that the Russia-Ukraine issue can be resolved only through diplomatic dialogues. So India has given this statement at the United Nations Security Council. In this article, you have to take some of the major key points as what is the background of a Russia-Ukraine conflict, the cause and the current situation, what is the role of Minsk agreements, this is important, how has India responded, and why quiet and constructive diplomacy is the need of the hour. Moving on page number 10 from GS3 Environment section, you'll find an article that talks about the hydrogen policy. Hydrogen policy calls for more incentives, says the experts. In this article, the major highlights are you have to know about the green hydrogen policy and its benefits. And also, you have to learn some facts related to the bent-toed gecko. So these were some of the major articles from The Hindu today. I hope you liked the video. For regular updates, you can follow us on our social media handles. And for more such videos, do stay tuned to the Next IAS YouTube channel.